Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. New video, new topic, and today we are going to learn irregular verbs in German. So without delay, let's begin. So A1 lesson 18 irregular verbs जिसको हम unregelmäßige Verben भी बोलते हैं German में. So what are the learning objectives? Verb conjugation in present tense that we are going to learn, and we are going to see conjugation of irregular verbs. In my previous video I have already covered regular verbs, so if you have not watched that video I would suggest you to go and watch that video. I will paste the link in the description below so that you understand it better, because it is important to know both regular as well as irregular verbs. So in my previous video I've already covered regular verbs, and in this video we are going to learn irregular verbs. So verb conjugation in presence, verb conjugation in present tense. So verb stem जिसको हम verb stem बोलते हैं, changes with do and rs. We learned the structure of the sentence in your previous lesson. In one of the videos I have already covered the sentence structure, in which I have talked about the verb stem, the ending, and everything. So again, go and watch that video. Here, there is a verb stem for conjugating verb in present tense. The verb stem, the verb stem, doesn't change. The verb stem doesn't changes with do and rs. In regular verbs it doesn't change. In irregular verbs it changes with do and rs. So the ending can vary. Ending can vary, depends on whether it's person or thing, and it is in singular or plural. So verb stem and ending. Verb stem changes with do and rs in irregular verbs, whereas in regular verbs it doesn't change. That is the difference that you need to remember. So how can you can see a normal irregular verb is conjugated. Do remember the stem of the verb changes with do and rs. So verb conjugation in presence verb stem plus a ish. The ending is e, do the ending is st, z the ending is en, rs the ending is t, where en, ear t, z en and z en. So the verb changes with do and rs in irregular verbs that you need to remember. So these changes in the verb stem is basically in the vowel. This is for regular verbs. The conjugation of all other pronouns remains the same like for regular verbs. Only for do and rs, this do and rs, it changes, that you need to remember. Now here are the changes you will notice when the verb will change in the irregular verbs. Vocal Wechsel, change in vowel. So e changes to I. Example, plural, du sprichst. Then e changes to ie. Lesen, du liest. Please ignore singular and plural that's written here. It is by mistake. This doesn't apply here. You only have to notice the change in vowel. AU changes to A umlaut and U. For example, in laufen it becomes läufst. In A becomes A umlaut. Fahren becomes fährst. And I becomes EI. For example, in wissen it becomes weist. Now we will see how these changes are in which of the pronoun, whether it's in the, whether it's in ses, or how is it. So laufen, fahren in the next two cases, notice the changes in the sounds. Okay, laufen, fahren, läufst, fährst. Now moving on, Verben with Vokalwechsel, verbs with change in vowel. We will see one by one each category. So the first category was the E changes to I. E changes to I. So example, expression, which means to speak, and the Vokalwechsel, the change in vowel, only takes in the pronouns do and s. This I am repeating constantly because this is what is important for you to learn in irregular verbs. So first example is expression, which means to speak. Let's see the conjugation. Ich spreche, du sprichst, sie sprechen, sie es spricht, wir sprechen, ihr sprecht, sie sprechen und sie sprechen. Now if you notice, sprechen is the verb, this is the verb stem, and E is changing to I here, and here E is changing to I, and both the pronouns are du and sie es. Du and sie es. Next verb is nehmen, which means to take. Now do notice nehmen is exception. Again, ich nehme, du nimmst, sie nehmen, sie es nimmt, wir nehmen, ihr nehmt, sie nehmen und sie nehmen. Again, if you notice, E is changing to I in du, and here also E is changing to I in sie es. The third verb is treffen, which means to meet. So let's see the conjugation. Ich treffe, du triffst, sie treffen, sie es trifft, wir treffen, ihr trefft, sie treffen und sie treffen. So if you notice, E is changing to I in du, and E is also changing to I in sie es. Now the other verb in this category is geben, which means to give. Ich gebe, du gibst, sie geben, sie es gibt, wir geben, ihr gebt, sie geben und sie geben. So if you notice, again E is changing to I in du, and E is changing to I in sie es. The other verb in this category is essen, which means to eat. Ich esse, du isst, sie essen, sie es isst, wir essen, ihr isst, ihr esst, sie essen und sie essen. So E is changing to I in du, and E is changing to I in sie es. The other verb is helfen, which means to help. All of these verbs that we are discussing right now is in the category where the vowel changes from E to I. So don't get confused. Ich helfe, du hilfst, sie helfen, sie es hilft, wir helfen, ihr helft, sie helfen und sie helfen. So here again E changes to I in du, and E changes to I in sie es. Now here the category is where the vowel changes from E to IE. In the previous category we were discussing the vowel changes from E to I. Here it changes from E to IE. So the first verb is lesen, which means to read. Ich lese, du liest, sie lesen, sie es liest, wir lesen, ihr lest, sie lesen und sie lesen. So here E changes to IE, and here as well E changes to IE. So in du and sie es. The second verb is sehen in this category, which means to see. Ich sehe, du siehst, sie sehen, sie es sieht, wir sehen, ihr seht, sie sehen und sie sehen. So E changes to IE in du, and it changes to IE in sie es. The next category is the AU changes to A umlaut and U. So the verb is laufen, which means to walk or run. Now the category which we were discussing where E changes to IE, of course there are more verbs that falls under that category, but right now we are doing verbs that we require for A1. So in this category AU changes to A umlaut and U, which we pronounce as AO. So laufen means to walk, run. Ich laufe, du läufst, sie laufen, sie es läuft, wir laufen, ihr lauft, sie laufen und sie laufen. So if you notice, A is changing to AO, A umlaut and U in du, and A umlaut and U in sie es. The next category is where A changes to A umlaut. So in this category A changes to A umlaut. So fahren, which means to drive. Ich fahre, du fährst, sie fahren, sie es fährt, wir fahren, ihr fahrt, sie fahren und sie fahren. So A changes to A umlaut, and again in sie es A changes to A umlaut. The second verb in this category is schlafen, which means to sleep. So ich schlafe, du schläfst, sie schlafen, sie es schläft, wir schlafen, ihr schlaft, sie schlafen und sie schlafen. So A changes to A umlaut in du, and again in sie es A changes to A umlaut. The next verb in this category is waschen, which means to wash. So ich wasche, du wäschst, sie waschen, sie es wäscht, wir waschen, ihr wascht, sie waschen und sie waschen. So if you notice, A changes to A umlaut, and in sie es as well A changes to A umlaut. Our last category is, let's go to the next category, and our last category, which is I changes to EI. Now the verb in this category is wissen, which means to know. Ich weiß, du weißt, sie wissen, sie es weiß, wir wissen, ihr wisst, sie wissen und sie wissen. So you must have noticed wissen is a special verb. Here the Vokalwechsel, the change in the vowel, not only takes place with du or sie es like it has in previous verbs that we have discussed, but also for ish, and hence here is a star. It also takes place with ish, where I, wissen, wissen, W-I-S-S-E-N changes to E-I. It changes in du weißt, it changes in sie es weiß, but it also changes in ich. This is exceptional, this is special. So ich weiß. These are just few very important verbs that you should know how to conjugate. Conjugating these verbs will come easy to you, come to you soon. Also remember that not all verbs with these vowels are irregular verbs. So if you have watched this video till the end, you know the drill. Do give me a thumbs up, share and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, bye.